Happy Thursday. Happy Therapy Thursday. It's time for Transforming Trauma with Dr. Triffy. How are you? On Thursdays, I show up to teach tips and tricks and skills and strategies to help us think better so we can feel better and we can do better. My name is Dr. Triffy. I'm a psychologist in Georgia, and I really look forward to these opportunities. It's one of my ways of doing pro bono work. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that. I speak the way I do because I was born on a little island in the Caribbean called Dominica. Dominica is not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. It's a different country. It's a different country. And it's an island between Guadeloupe and Martinique, which are two other islands. These islands speak French. Yeah. If you want to think Dominica is Dominican Republic, wrong. This teacher is giving you a red mark. Wrong. Dominican Republic is up north, close to it borders with Haiti. All right, that's enough about me. So, as I said, on Thursdays I show up to teach skills and strategies to help us think better, so we can feel better about ourselves, about our lives, about our choices, about our outcomes. Yeah. And we can do better. So we can actually create the results we're intending to. When we're sitting around thinking, or we're meditating, or we're praying, or we're dreaming, we're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, having these thoughts, what it is we want to do. Tonight, I thought I would talk about concentration and how to focus and where we're making mistakes in concentration. Yeah. Hopefully, this will help you and it'll help your children because many of our kids struggle with concentration. Okay, so what does it mean to concentrate? So I'm looking at a dictionary definition from Merriam Webster, and the definition, according to that dictionary, is to bring or direct towards a common center or towards a common objective or to gather into a mass. Yeah, to bring directly towards a common center, to bring or to gather into a mass or into one body. Yeah, so how does it feel for you when you're not able to concentrate as well as you wish? Okay, or what might it look like if somebody else is having difficulty concentrating? That person might have difficulty sitting still. You might have trouble sitting still. You might have trouble thinking clearly. You might be having difficulty remembering things that happened just recently. Yeah. You can't find your glasses. Your glasses are on your shirt. Yeah. You're dropping things. You're losing things. You're losing your ID. You're losing your wallet. It feels like it's hard to focus. Sometimes you're making careless mistakes. Yeah. Or you're feeling indecisive. You're having trouble making decisions. Or you're just bouncing off the walls. Really, some people are. That is what trouble concentrating looks like in many people. Yeah. For many people. Now, I don't want to make it so clinical tonight. I'm not going to make it so clinical tonight. I want to make it more practical. But still, there are many reasons, there are many roots, there are many sources of concentration problems. Many things, many medical issues are associated with concentration problems. So when you go for an evaluation, this is a little bit of very clinical, I'll do. When you go for an evaluation, if you're having some of those symptoms, it's hard to focus, it's hard to remember, you're losing things. Many professionals will do an assessment, and often they will ask you about your ability to concentrate. your ability to focus, your ability to remember. Hmm? So, diagnoses like depression, all the psychotic diagnoses like schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, sometimes bipolarity with psychosis, and bipolar disorder itself, yeah, insomnia, epilepsy, dementia, if you had a concussion, yeah, if you hit your head and you de- developed a concussion, attention deficit for our kids and adults, fatigue, alcohol use, substance use, all of those have a component of concentration problems. Yeah. So I said earlier, I don't want to make it clinical like this. See, because you might not have any of these diagnoses, maybe because you've never been evaluated and diagnosed, or you probably don't meet criteria for any of these diagnoses, but you're still struggling with concentration. So I think I'm talking to you tonight. I want you to pay attention and think about how your body feels, how your body feels, or how your mind feels when you're having trouble concentrating or focusing. Okay? Because I want you to kind of connect the dots. See, because all of these diagnoses I mentioned earlier, all of them impact the body, don't they? Hmm? Yes. And we have concentration problems even when we don't have these diagnoses. In your body, you might be struggling with your feelings. You might be feeling anxious or sad, or you're going through grief, or you're exhausted, or you didn't sleep well, or you didn't eat well. Yeah? Or there might be pain in your body. You might be sick. You might have caught the flu. There's a flu running around. You might have caught that. Yeah. Or there might be sensations in your body or urges in your body. There might be cravings in your body. Your mind might also be having thoughts. Yeah. I was speaking to a gentleman today, and he was describing a lifetime of trouble with his thinking, trouble with his thoughts that had led to, he said, over 30 hospitalizations. Because at the root, that's what it is. Yeah, and he described it as trying and wanting to calm down, but so many thoughts just bouncing through his brain from the time he was a child until now, where he's mid 20s. Yeah, many thoughts, sometimes many memories, and sometimes those memories they just show up. You were not planning to think about them, and they just show up. They just are very present. They intrude on your wanting to just live your life. You're wanting to watch a TV show, and you might have a flashback of a very painful event, or you might have thoughts about it. Yeah. Sometimes our beliefs, depending on what's happening in the environment, on the news, in the community, even, you might not be able to get certain thoughts off of your mind. Certain worries and certain self judgments, certain ways we think about ourselves can be very intrusive in the mind. So that's what I meant when I said you might not qualify for any of these diagnoses I mentioned, but just as a regular human being, we're all regular. But I mean, just a regular day-to-day living experience, we will face concentration problems, and some of us we struggle with it more than others. And at different times, all of us will struggle with our concentration. So my question is, though, when that happens, when you're having trouble remembering, you're losing things, it's hard to sit still, it's hard to bring your thoughts together to be able to come to a common center. What have you done? Like, how have you dealt with it when you feel that sense of disquiet within you? Hmm? Here's an acronym called DOTS by Russ Harris. Pay attention to this. Is this what you're doing? Is this what you're doing? Are you using distraction when that kind of feeling shows up in your body? When those feelings show up in your body or in your mind, what are you doing? Are you distracting yourself with, say, shopping, watching TV? Yeah. Sometimes that's a positive, isn't it? Yeah, because you take a break from the pain of those emotions and those thoughts. What if you have a project due the next day? What if you have homework due the next day? What if you have kids you have to take care of? What if you're on your job? Can that fly? Can the distraction fly? Can you stay away from your desk whole day you're at work talking with everybody else because you're so distracted by your own thoughts, by your feelings, by your cravings, by your sensations in your body? Oh, have you been opting out? What does that mean? Opting out means going quiet. We stop it. We stop. We check out. We quit, or we withdraw from other people. We start isolating. We pull ourselves away from places we're supposed to go to, or we want to go to. Yeah. Or situations we might need to pay attention to. Have you been checking out and opting out? That's the O. Yeah, so have you been distracting yourself from what you really need to do? And there are some things we really need to do, like we really need to go to work. We really need to take care of our kids, take care of our bodies, our homes, yeah, make money. We really need to do those things, yeah? Have we been distracting ourselves from that? Or are we checking out? We opting out of doing them, yeah? T, have you tried to think your way out of it by, say, blaming other people? For example, you might say, it's not my fault, it's their fault that this bad thing maybe, say, happened to me, right? Say you're having flashbacks. It's not my fault, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm so tired of this. I'm just, overwhelmed and distracted. Yeah. Have you been worrying instead of some of the tips I'll offer you in a minute? Have you been just ruminating where these thoughts show up and you're just running them through a loop, like that young man today? He's like, I cannot get those thoughts out of my head. Yeah, I feel as if I'm being bombarded by thoughts. Have you been rehashing the past? Have you been fantasizing? Yeah, which is another way to kind of opt out. Yeah. Have you been solving the problem? Have you been trying to solve the problem? Have you been planning? Have you been maybe criticizing yourself? Have you been saying things like, what if? Well, if only. If only, what if? Why is this happening to me? This is not fair. Have you been debating with yourself? Have you been in denial about it? Yeah. S, have you been using substances to numb the feelings, to try to quiet the thoughts? Have you been harming yourself? There are many people, especially where I work right now. I work at a prison right now. Many people will cut themselves. Many people will cut themselves and give you the reasoning that it helps me feel better. And it does help some people feel better for a while. Yeah, for a while. But there's so many negatives to it. It is not a recommendation. Yeah. What substances do you put in your body to help you cope with those body sensations and those thoughts, those feelings of anxiety and sadness? and the worry and the self-judgment that keeps you from concentrating because your mind is all over the place and you are having difficulty focusing, bringing to center your attention on your tasks, on your, I have to do this. Have you been oversleeping? Do you oversleep when you're having trouble concentrating? Are you over medicating? Are you over exercising? Are you taking anything to the extreme in an attempt to settle those thoughts? Yeah, those wayward thoughts and those feelings that seem to be too much for you. And the question is, if you were applying any of these strategies, did they get rid of your painful thoughts? And did they get rid of your painful feelings? And if they did that last? Yeah, did that last in the long term? Because you need it to last in the long term for it to be an efficient coping strategy. Because if it's only going to work for tonight or for an hour, what does that mean? I'm going to have to keep doing it a lot. And some of these things have very negative consequences. So the person who says to you or to me or to themselves, well, I'm going to cut myself so that I can concentrate better. My mind will clear up. Well, one day that person might cut themselves to the point where they hurt themselves beyond rescue. Yes or no? Yeah? So you want to ask yourself the question, whatever coping strategy I'm using, is that strategy costing me too much in terms of my health, in terms of my energy, yeah, my aliveness feeling? Is it costing me too much with my relationships? Do the people around me not want to be around me because I'm using these strategies to cope with my feelings and my thoughts and my sensations and my cravings? Am I losing people that I love based on the strategies I'm using? These dots, yeah, distraction, opting out, thinking, and substances, yeah? Am I losing money? Am I spending too much buying alcohol or cigarettes? Am I spending too much? Is that too much out of my budget? Yes, I am. This anxiety is high, and I'm trying to get it under control because I want to be able to concentrate. I want to be able to bring my thoughts into a calm center, and it's just a lot for me. But is it too expensive for me? That strategy I'm using to cope. Am I losing fun time, leisure time? Yeah. Am I losing work? Have I lost a job because whatever strategy I'm using, it's not working for other people around me to the point where they don't want to be around me? Yeah. Am I missing opportunities based on the strategies I'm using? If I'm using cannabis to manage my anxiety and I'm working somewhere where I'm getting drug tested randomly, am I at risk of losing my job because the strategy I've chosen to use might have these other implications? And am I wasting time with whatever strategy I'm using? Yeah. So those are questions for you, because the thing is, we're trying to make things work. Yeah. So if you're having trouble concentrating, you're going to try to find a way to ease that. Yeah. So you can get some clarity. The question is, though, what is the cost of what I'm using? Another way to think about it is, these days we use the word energy a lot. So whatever strategy I'm using, at the end of it, is my energy feeling better, or did it create bad energy for me? Yeah. So for example, the things I did or the new thoughts I employed, that distracting activity that I did, or the substance that I used, or opting out, did it lead me to feel brighter, lighter, more hopeful, more excited? Yeah, more positive. Or the distraction strategy that I use, the opting out strategy, or the thought strategy, or the substances that I used, did it lead to more suffering for me? Yes. And I think if you're willing to do that kind of assessment to see where you are today, then you might be more interested in these 5, I'm calling them focus forward strategies instead. 5 strategies to help you focus in a positive way that are not going to cost you much. They're not going to hurt you or other people. Okay? So if you're ready, let's go. Number one, if you're struggling with your concentration, if you're already struggling with bringing your thoughts to center, you want to eliminate distractions. You want to remove any more distractions, because those feelings and those thoughts, those cravings, those sensations, those whatever it is you're telling yourself that are causing you pain and distracting you from your task, that's enough, right? That's enough. You don't want to add more to your plate. So you want to eliminate distractions. How might you do that in a real sense? Look, these days, this right here is a beautiful thing, but it's also quite a distraction. And on all of them, we have these alerts. So our brain can get a little shot of dopamine to be like, oh, somebody just liked my post. Oh, something new and potentially fun just showed up on my phone. Oh, let me go check it out, to see if we get a little reward. But what does that do from your task at hand? It removes time. It the amount of time you have in your day, you just lost potentially a long time, because sometimes when we go towards the phone distraction or the email distraction or the computer distraction, or sometimes even the TV distraction, the amount of time you thought you were going to apply there ends up being much longer than you anticipated, just because of the way that is programmed. Yeah, you're not a bad person because you decided, well, let me take a 10-minute break on, oh, my phone just pinged. And it's just some company that you don't even know sending you a request or some kind of promo to even take your money, right? But that starts a process where you are now in your phone. Okay, that was nothing. Well, let me see what else is there. You're on your phone 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour when you have a task to complete. So turn off your phone if you have to. Turn off your alerts, because those alerts are meant to take your attention away. And if you're already struggling with attention, if you have an allotment of attention span capacity in any given moment, that is cherished attention time if you're working on a project, if you have other big things you need to be doing, if you have other tasks you must complete. So close any unnecessary tabs on your computer. That's another one that I don't think we think about much. So if you're working on the computer and you might have to use several screens, yeah, you might be working on a paper, you're working on a report, you're working on homework. If you're taking a break, yeah, close every screen that is not relevant to your coming back into the computer. Leave the one that you're working on only. Leave that one only and come back to it. Yes? So on your computer, just close off these screens that you're not going to be using when you come back into the computer if you're taking a little break. Eliminate distractions because you're already challenged with your attention, with how much you can bring to the center. So you want to guard that space. You want to guard that time. Number 2 is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is about focusing on the present moment. Focusing on being where you are right now, doing what you're doing right now. And it's a way to bring what's out there in here, isn't it? Because even if I have 200 big thoughts struggling and competing for my attention, mindfulness says, well, let me focus on what I'm doing right now, yeah, or what I might be feeling right now. Focus on this experience of completing this task now. So we have many thoughts, okay? We have many thoughts. And those thoughts are, like I say, they're competing for our attention. One strategy in mindfulness is to just, without judging the fact that you're having 20 other thoughts when really you want to be completing your paper, just acknowledge them, just notice them, and let them be. Don't fight with them. Don't fight with yourself, as in, why am I thinking this? I'm terrible. I'm always distracted. Why can I not focus? No. Some self-compassion. You're a human being and your mind populates thoughts. So just don't give it much charge. You just notice it and bring your attention intentionally back to the task at hand. You might have to do that a lot, but that is practice, as mental training too. So I would suggest that even at the beginning of the day, before you get up out of your bed, even if it's for 5 minutes, to bring yourself into that kind of quiet center. You might use prayer, you might use meditation, you might focus on a word, you might focus on something, on a scent, on a candle, on something, yeah? So you can start your day off in a state of quiet, as much quiet as possible, or presence as in I am here now, yeah? No judgment. Okay, I'm thinking A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I might be nervous about what's coming next, but I'm bringing my thoughts back to the present moment, where all I'm focusing on is, okay, it feels good to be waking up. My body might feel some discomfort. I can just notice it without going into a whole blasting myself because I am feeling a particular way. There doesn't need to be any judgment of what you're experiencing. Really? Yeah, really. It can just be about noticing it. All right. So that's practicing mindfulness. Number 3 is a strategic application, where if you've got a task to complete, but you have many thoughts and you have many feelings, or your body's feeling a lot of pain, that might threaten to pull you away from coming into the center and focusing. Break up that particular task into smaller, manageable chunks. So if you got a report to write, do the first section. If you got homework to do, do your introduction. Yeah? Say, this is what I'm working on, instead of I'm working on a 20-page paper or a 5-paragraph paper, or I've got to send a letter out, or I've got to make a phone call. Well, let me use the first piece of my time along that task journey to go find the number. Let me research the number. Hmm? Let me decide when is the best time for me to call. Hmm? Let me sit. So I break the task up instead of saying, boy, I might have to spend 2 hours doing this thing right here. And that's a lot. It can feel like a lot. It can feel like a whole lot some days, depending again on what else is going on in your body, in your mind. So break up the task, break up the big task. One tip with that is to write a to-do list, because you might be looking at your entire day, and sometimes just the thought of the day and everything that's going to come with it, when you're already feeling a particular way, like bombarded or scattered, it can seem like too much. And sometimes we will opt out, yeah, where we withdraw, or we go into the nasty thoughts about ourselves, like this will never happen. I'm already overwhelmed. This is too much for me. Or we might go to the substances and say, man, let me go eat some sugar. Let me go eat my emotions. Yeah. Or we might distract ourselves and be like, let me just go play with my phone. Let me just go watch some TV. But the thing is, the task is left incomplete. So write a to-do list. You can do that first thing in the morning. If your brain feels very scattered, bring it towards the center by writing down the tasks you must handle today. Okay? Now, the next strategy, number 4, is even with that, right? So you have your to-do list and you might be approaching one big task that, yes, you've decided to take it apart and break it up into chunks. This strategy says, even within the smaller chunks, take breaks, take regular breaks. Yeah, work for about 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. That's called the Pomodoro technique. Okay, work, give it a burst of energy, like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, 25 minutes, but then 5 minutes, you already know you're looking forward to a 5-minute break where this is not going to go on forever. Yeah, so I'm pushing. I got 25 good minutes in me. I'm going to push, and then I'm going to leave these 5 minutes for me to just, whew, yeah. This is where an alert might help you. Yeah, I said take your alerts off the phone and off your email, but that I'm talking about alerts where you have no control. Remove those, like just turn them off. But alerts where you have control, like where you can get into your phone and program an alert where you know these 25 minutes, I'm letting this thing go. I'm doing the best I can with that limited attention span I feel like I have today. I'm doing the best I can for 25 minutes, but I've set an alert on my phone to go off. So I know, okay, let me stop now so that I don't burn myself out and just go, 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 go. And then I'm like, okay, I make 45 minutes, but I'm exhausted. And now I just put the whole thing away. No, I'm going to do 25 minutes and I'll set an alert for 5 more minutes. After 5 minutes, we're back on the task again. Okay, that's the Pomodoro technique. For 25 minutes of focused, it could be study time, it could be homework time, it could be work time at your desk, in your office, or out in your workshop, or wherever it is that you're working. Yeah. If you're a driver, you can change the time limit. Yeah. You can say, well, if say you're an Uber driver, you can say, well, I'm gonna do 5 rides. I'm gonna do the next 5 rides. And after the 5th ride, I'm taking a break. I'm going into uh, a store, right? And grab me a little thing of water and some gum or whatever it is. Yeah. And the fifth technique to help you complete tasks especially when your brain is populating many thoughts or your body's generating many emotions or sensations or cravings, is to set goals. So I just gave an example of a goal where you say at the beginning, right? You get up off your bed and you have practiced your 5 to 10 minutes of mindfulness, and you've already even mentally decided, well, I'm going to break up my work into chunks. Yeah. So I'm going to work, if I'm a driver, I'm thinking about the Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers tonight, I guess. I'm a driver. Well, I'm gonna start from 7 o'clock, but I'm not gonna go the whole day in one shot. I'm gonna say, well, I know this. I'm taking a break right here after 5 rides. Yeah, yeah. And then I'm gonna take regular breaks. So I'll do another 5 and take a break, another 5 and take a break. That is really setting goals. That is you creating an outline, a plan for your day. You want your plan to be smart. Yeah. So our plan was just specific. I'm going to work today between these hours. Yeah. But I'm even going to make it measurable. I'm going to say I'm going to do 5 rides between this span of time, and I'm taking a break that lasts this amount of time. Yeah. I'm going to make it attainable. Is it doable to do 5 rides and then take a break? Of course it is. So that's something I can do. That's within the realm of my ability, capacity, capability. Yeah. And then I'm going to make it relatable to me. Is it relevant to me or relatable? Yeah. It is relevant. I'm trying to make my money. I'm trying to make my money. Although I have all of these distracting thoughts and all of these distracting feelings in my body. Yeah. But I'm going to make a clear plan, and I'm also going to make it time bound. So perhaps I might say I'm working from 7 to 7 if I'm a driver. Mhm. If I'm working a typical job, I'm working from 9 to 5, but today I will accomplish the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I will break it up like this. And I will take my breaks here and here and here and here. Yes? So you set goals that are smart, that are specific. You're not just leaving it willy nilly. Yes, there will be things that you didn't plan for because life is life. But at the very least, you have a roadmap. You have a plan, okay? Specific, you want it measurable because you want to know, yes, I did that. I did the thing that I set out to do. You want it to be attainable. You don't want it to be too much that it's just out of your reach. Yeah. So if you were to say, well, I'm going to do my Uber driving for the next 24 hours, well, that's a little. That doesn't make much sense. That's not attainable, is it? Because your body will crash. So something that's attainable, something that is relevant to you, yeah, you have interest in it, you have buy-in, yeah. There's a reason you would do that. Plus, you want to make it time bound so that you know when I've gone over or if I haven't hit my mark yet. You will know you haven't hit your mark or that you've exceeded perhaps your mark. So this is my offering for you tonight. This is my offering for you tonight. And the thing is, the truth is that every human being will face concentration challenges at some point. Like I said, physical ailment, you hurt your toe, so you're in pain. It's hard to concentrate, but you have things that you must do. Yeah, or you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, sad, frustrated, irritated, whatever it is. You need to have strategy, though, that you apply intentionally on purpose. And these are skills we teach our children. I mentioned many clinical diagnoses where it's going to be challenging, much more challenging for people with those diagnoses, and it's a constant battle for you. But even though it's a battle, there are strategies to apply. Yeah, there are strategies to apply if you want to accomplish particular goals. This is my offering for you tonight, Chiketo. This is what I got for you all tonight. Like I said, I thought about doing this today. And as luck would have it, I spoke to this young man who, he says from the time he was about 5 years old, it's been such a struggle for him that when I asked, well, how many times have you been hospitalized with any of these symptoms? He said, I asked about twice, 3 times. He's like, no. He said, if I had to tell you, and then he proceeded to tell me at least 30 times he's had to be hospitalized because his brain is thinking all the time. It's thinking all the time. And he's feeling many thoughts about many things all the time. So he says someone told him that he is a highly sensitive, person. And there are many of us like that. We feel a lot. We're around other people and we swear we can feel their pain, And that's very distracting when you have your own work to do. So you need to have strategies that work and don't create other problems for you. So that's the point of tonight's session. Okay, Simone, you're welcome. That's the point of tonight's session. And even though, like I said, you don't have a child with ADHD, you don't have anybody in your family with depression or bipolar disorder or whatever else, you might get sick, but you still have work to do. Yeah, or you might not be feeling well for whatever reason. You're anxious, overwhelmed. Try these strategies. Okay, so I'm going to review the strategies to try. Eliminate distractions from the get-go. You have something that's got to be done, turn your phone off. Okay? Practice mindfulness. Give yourself some time where you collect yourself, where you bring yourself into the present moment, where you take your thoughts away from all of the past hurts, pains, disappointments, whatever it is that happened yesterday, and all of the worries about today and what might happen today. Oh my God, I don't have, this is too much, and you focus just on now, what's in front of you. And then the big project you have to do, you break it up. You break up this big project into smaller pieces, chunk it up. And one way to do that is by writing a to-do list. So for today, I've got to take care of this, but the noise is so much. Within that, even those chunks, give yourself regular breaks. So go hard, big bursts of energy, take a break. Within that, you can set alerts to keep you on target. Yeah. And then number 5, set goals that are smart, that you are the one creating the goal, that you're not just waiting for it maybe to happen, but you're setting it off. And to do that, we call it SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-focused or time-bound goals. Okay? If you have a kid who's struggling, you want to teach your child how to do that. And like I said, if your child has any of the diagnoses I mentioned earlier, they might struggle for the rest of their lives with it. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. So perhaps you can encourage them when they are making some progress. Yeah, and they are getting some things done, because some people's brain, that's just how it works. Okay, and not everybody is comfortable taking medication to help their brain. They prefer trying to do it alone, but that is very challenging. It's another subject. Yeah, that's another subject for another night. Yeah, if you're one of those people who's struggling with, I don't want to take medication, I want to do it on my own, then these 5 strategies, I hope they help you. Okay, I hope they help you. So, as I get ready to leave for tonight, thank you all for watching. I hope you share the live, share the message. Somebody is hopefully going to be helped by this. Simone says it's very relevant to her. Thank you, Simone. Happy Thursday. And I want to remind you that on Saturday at 5 p.m., I've invited the Bushman himself, Indigenous Bushman, to come sit on the couch with me at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, right here. Indigenous Bushman is a master herbalist, originally from Dominica too, who lives and works here in the US. And he's going to talk to us about how to use plants to heal our bodies, our minds, our spirits. We're focusing this year on holistic, on body, mind, spirit care. Yeah, there's a lot of stress. There are a lot of opportunities to pull us away from our center. And that just means that we have to take more responsibility for managing that center. Yeah, so we can maintain our mental health, our physical health, and our spiritual health. So I hope I see you on Saturday at 5 p.m. In the meantime, nous que parler une autre fois. If you don't understand what I just said in Creole. We will talk another time. Peace.